Thanks for staying with us. Honeypot, are you ready for it?
Oh, yes. It's so interesting that I did not lose my thoughts, you know. So when Nima was talking, it is actually interesting again that, you know, when Nima and I were talking this morning, she was talking about how she was tired and I was complaining how I've not been able to sleep well and all that. And she said, you know, our children were disturbing her. They were trying to plait her hair. They were doing this. And I'm like, really? Because I had to, you know, as a woman that I have my own things to deal with, I'm like, I don't even have a child yet. And it
hasn't been easy.
So I asked her, I said, how do you even cope? She said, you will acclimatize, no, Oma, you know, and all that. Because
you readjust yourself, sharp.
Do you get? Because I know how I feel, especially when it is, and as you said, it is not only when one is menstruating.
Yeah,
ovulation is like malaria.
Yeah.
So when are you now free as a woman?
Just a few days, though. A few days freedom. So what happens to me is, during that ovulation, menstruation, once I start with that's my, leave me, I want to be on my own. My husband will say, is it time? Please, sorry. People should understand, mommy needs her peace. Mommy needs her rest. There was a day I snapped at Miriam. Miriam was like, we were doing your shoots in the car.
Oh!
And she was like, is it about to start? I say, actually.
How come I didn't notice?
Actually, yes. Because she just noticed. If you come close, you will notice. However, I've just found ways to lighten it up. So I meditate more often. It sort of helps me. So that sometimes I don't even know when it's coming. But normally, before I started doing something, because I didn't even understand what was happening, I just know that I get very angry at a certain time. But there's another one that, you know, caught my attention that I would like us to address. So I had this young friend recently who had to drop out of school before the ASU strike.
Okay.
And when I asked her why, she was studying law in one of these universities. And she said that the parents had to tell her to step down so that her brother can continue. They didn't have money to fund both of them. Now, they didn't have money to fund both of them. It's not their money. She's the one working and funding herself.
Wow.
And they said she should step down so that she will do the work and fund the brother because he is a man. And she was trying to convince me that, you know, he's a man now. He's the one that will bear the family name. I was pissed, but it's not my business. So I said, so in a few years' time, will you be happy with this decision? She said she can't do anything. Her parents are insisting that she steps down so that the man... So we still have families who are constantly making choices and telling women to step down from education so that their brothers would continue that education.
We should own the decision.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay to step down for a family member. It's okay if you own the decision. She's the owner of the resources. She's working. She's sponsoring. If she thinks that, okay, if I face my work, I'll earn better and I can sponsor my brother, and it's her choice. Not that family is asking her to choose. Because, you see, their families have their fears. Unfortunately, we live in a culture where when she marries, she's not the owner of her head.
I'm telling you.
Somebody pay money on top of her head.
The person
so that the person can say, you can't have a job. And your family have sent you to school as their only hope.
And then you become a housewife, right?
And then you become a housewife. I hope you understand where I'm going
where
with
it's
the
going
point.
to,
So the family, for their own decision, the reason for that decision is because they know it is a culture. And they think they cannot come into that marriage and decide for a man in his home. So a man who is selfish, who doesn't know your background, the one who even know your background will tell you, oh, they have used you and I will continue to use you, and you cannot have a life.
But right now, we see a lot of women.
Let me quickly take a call before I come to you. Menu from Abuja. Good morning, Menu. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you speak louder,
I really enjoy your program. Just because I'm watching you. Exactly what my sister, the one that put on his back. Exactly what she's talking about some few minutes ago. Exactly what I'm talking to. As a woman, even right now, I don't know, I tell you whether I will know or not. So you want to menstruate, it's trauma. I need to go to the office, I cannot go. Just respect myself. A lot of women that don't work. I don't know what all those men about that. Men are they are not celebrating women. They don't follow the kind of pain women go through. That is my contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honeypot.
All right, so I am so sad that this is still happening, and I would say why, because we can already see a lot of women doing well. A lot of women are climbing career ladders, and they are doing fantastically well. They are heading companies, they are, calling the shots and all that, and we can see examples. It is not as if people are just saying it, and it is not what people can see. People can see it. Women are doing well.
Amazingly
and they still choose to put their girls in the background just because you want to project certain things, certain ideologies
because
that
your
I
own
think...
view to life is the same.
Yeah.
Your fears,
Yeah.
it informs your fears.
Yes.
If in your own family, your wives, your daughters-in-laws
empowered,
cannot amount to anything but a woman in the kitchen, how do you think you view your girl child going to school?
Yeah, that's true.
And that is exactly why this day is on, so that people can begin to change how they think, their mentality, and all of this.
Let's take
I'm
a
so
short
glad.
break. When we come back, we'll wrap up on this topic. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still celebrating the girl child, and we'll be wrapping up in a bit. Now, what have you guys noticed about how children are raised to do chores? So I like to go to the younger generation because they are the ones that will take over. I still hear some people saying these chores are strictly for girls and these chores are strictly for boys.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that we're going to be doing deliberately to ensure that there's equality, even in our little space, in our homes, there's equality? For instance, in my house, anybody can sweep, anybody can cook.
Yeah.
My son is like the best cook in the
That's
house.
what he's supposed to
Yes,
be.
anybody can wash, anybody can, sweep the outside. There was a day he was arguing with me and he was like, Mommy, why do I have to be the one to sweep outside? I said, anybody can sweep outside. You woke up first, please go and help yourself and sweep the outside.
That's correct.
So how do we balance it in such a way that these young generation are raised to understand that there's equality, we're the same?
You have said it all. So, yes, there is no special job or chore for the girl child. And you now say that, or the boy child is in the living room watching TV, and then the girl child is somewhere, working,
cooking, washing, cleaning
off and all that. No. So everybody should be able to do the same chores. And I tell you what, we keep talking about how women can multitask and all that. It is all of these things that women have gone through that built them to be able to do all of this that they are doing. And you see that, you see a woman and a man of the same age, and sometimes, you can't actually compare just because this woman can even do better, is doing better than the man. I think that you shouldn't let, in as much as we're talking about the girl child today, you shouldn't, leave the boy child behind. You should help them too. You should build them and let them do all the chores in the house. Let both the girl child and the boy child do all the chores in the house.
Amazing. Let me quickly take this call. Fumi. Good morning, Fumi. Welcome to Nima. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Miriam. Yes. Okay, please, I would like to make some few comments about a girl child. One of the issues I discovered again of recent is that the in-laws are always making it look as if it is your fault to have a female child. We place the male child above the female child, which is unfair. I'm not the one that produced the child in my belly. I wasn't the one that gave it, It's God that gave me the child. So why should you place one child above me? It's really unfair for that girl child. I've been a victim of that because I've had issues of no childbearing for many years. The only saving grace was that because we were delayed and we had female girls, my husband cherished them more because he understands when you don't have and when you have. So what about other families who are going through this and, they don't have any spouse to really stand up for them? Placing a boy child above a female child is totally wrong. And that's one of the things we are facing too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It just made me want to cry.
I'm telling you. Oh, wow.
My name is Oyomo Holo. It means that, barrenness is worse. I was a third girl. The drama around my birth was so much. It was overwhelming for my dad. And he used to tell me this story of how proud of his girls he was. Amidst family setting, he would emphasize how proud. Because in my religion also, having a girl child is paradise for the parents.
Oh, wow.
Raising her, empowering her till the point she marries off is paradise for the girls. That's how the Prophet ﷺ encouraged empowering the girl child. And so my dad used to be so proud of his girls. First child was a girl, second was a girl, third a girl, and he cared for us. I remember him turning down jobs in cities he thought was dangerous to raise his girls. Everything he did was about, how to shelter and protect his girls. And, when talking about it like this just made me wonder how some families still see it like abnormal.
Yeah. And that is why you see in some families they have a lot of children and all of them are girls because they keep giving birth thinking that they would have a male child and somehow
and
they keep coming and the pressure.
Woman.
Interesting.
So, pressure the woman who has girls, she's dealing with that, but you cannot allow her to appreciate the gifts of God that God has given her because you're looking for a particular sex.
Can we even talk about the X and Y chromosome?
Abi?
Aside from that, even the sex that will not even take care of you, the burden of the family always rests on the women.
Sister.
I am an Ada. I know what I am carrying. The boys self never even find their level. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you go to most of these homes that they put a lot of emphasis, it's even the women. At the end of the day, you're the one that will be sending, remember your mom, you remember your dad, you send money back and all that. And we're not giving that sort of support because they felt you'll be married and you are married off. If you're going for funeral rites, anything happens, the burden is on you as a woman. So why I'm not gaining as much. And in my place, you're even disinherited. Like I don't have a piece of land in my place because I am married out. At the end of the day, I'm spending more taking care of you where other people are just chilling because they are boys and they have parcels of land. So it's annoying. And we need to deal with this.
And I think another thing we should talk about again is that, we talked about it before on my show together. And we're talking about how in your part of of Nigeria, they collect a lot of amounts, when you're getting married. And I actually saw some girls who are complaining. And they're like, this amount is carrying guys away. And that is why some of them have not even, gotten married because of this. And that thing of, this girl child, because somebody is marrying her off, I must collect everything. And so you're reading the list and you're saying the roof that they have not done in years, it is that guy that is going to come and fix it. The guy that is coming to marry the girl that he's committed a crime. They are going to buy motorcycle. They are going to buy this thing. They'll almost build a whole house before, they give their child, daughter's hand in marriage.
The culture starts from how you see your daughters.
Yeah.
As if you're a father, you're a mother today, cherish your daughters. Want for them what you want for any gender of your children. I am appreciative of the background, the training. I saw my parents' sacrifices. I'm a girl child, third in the role, family drama everywhere at birth, but I'm here today. I wish good for your daughters. When they grow, they would remember. We're very loyal beings. We know how to, they would remember. Do that for yourself, for your peace of mind. I don't wish that your child, because she's a girl, is at the mercy of the world.
Yeah.
Empower her. Let her be able to stand independent of the world.
That's amazing. So let's take our final words before we go. From this conversation, what do we expect parents to begin to do to help, celebrate the girl child? We're actually very full of value and attributes. And if you raise a girl child right, we are the first educators of our children. If you raise them right, you are raising a community. What are some of the things that we can begin to do to just make the lives of girl children easier? Just a few words so that we can go.
All right, I would actually start by saying that, for parents, they can always unlearn, relearn, because I think people think that because they are parents, they can, just be doing things the way it has been done and then carry the whole thing on and on. So, and things don't change. So what I'm saying in essence is that as we have talked about this and as this day has come and people are addressing different things that is affecting, different things that are affecting the girl child, I think there should be a change of mindsets for the parents, and they should begin to see that, the girl child and the boy child are actually equal, and they should begin to
treat them like that.
Treat them like that as such, yes, because in the long run, they'll be happy for it, and the world will be a better place.
Nima?
I totally agree with on this. Let's look at it as an economic plan. Women are industrious, they are hardworking,
intelligent.
They make up, as Onipot said earlier, over 50% of the world's population. Empower them, and you would have solved half of the world's problem. educate them, because you see the mind is, and a mother is the first teacher of every child. True. Educate her, and you'd have educated the next generation. It's important that, you know, their worldview is expanded. Women are not condemned to just assist the other gender. So we're not hawkers, street workers, and all of those things that, you know, I see around. We're better people.
Yeah, and we complement each other well. So I had an event recently that I went to, and it was so shabby. I was so upset. The decorations, everything was just so wrong. I was like, why am I here? I had to check the website again. Are you sure it's this people, this caliber of people, you know, put this up together? And I realized that in the panel, there was no woman. The planning committee, there was no woman. Like I was, because I was like, no wonder something was missing. That
was no
that female, yes, that female touch wasn't there. The aesthetics wasn't there. There's just something that a woman brings to the table, because our eyes are open even more than we see the details. We see beauty, we see that thing, and I think and I believe that we need to start working to ensure that everybody is equal. The boy child should not be neglected.
That's right.
The boy child is equal to the girl child, and everybody must have equal opportunities. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we move on to other topics. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. In 2011, the UN declared October 11 as the International Day of the Girl Child to recognize girls' rights too, and to highlight the challenges that girls face around the world. In commemorating the Girl Child Day, we will be highlighting and addressing the needs and challenges which girls face throughout the globe. You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. We have always talked about the girl child and all the numerous issues.
That's right.
Yes, that bedevil the girl child. We talked about unemployment, equal opportunity, gender equal rights, you know, genital mutilation, child marriage and all that. Those are some of the issues that every organization from time to time highlights and tries to solve the issues. So in celebrating this day and commemorating with them today, what are some of the issues that you think we have not really given that much attention to, that you believe we can do more concerning the girl child?
This is just so wonderful to discuss because there are still so many things going on. You know, this year's theme is Our Time is Now, Our Rights, Our Future. The other time I was talking about how the UK government said that they were going to ban virginity repair surgery. And they were not just going to be a part of it. In case somebody does not understand what that means, it is also called hymenoplasty. That is when, you know, your hymen is already broken. You want to repair it. You want to do a surgery so that you can become a virgin again. And a lot of people are actually in, you know, they're getting it done. They're getting it done. And one of the reasons the UK government is saying that they don't want to be a part of it any longer is because they don't want to encourage it. They want it to stop, you know, because there are so many things that can break the hymen, for crying out loud. Exercise can break the hymen.
Bicycle riding.
Tampons can break the hymen, you know, and all that, different things. And, you know, there are still some places in the world, like you're talking about South Asia, Middle East, where it is a thing to be a virgin, and on your wedding night you must bleed. If you don't bleed, then they might kill you. Yes, so because they might kill you, it is honor-based. So because they might kill you, the families of these people always puts them under pressure if anything is already wrong with the hymen to get it done. And I think in this age and stage, we shouldn't even be talking about this. And it costs up to £3,000 to actually recreate your hymen in the UK. And I think it is just so worrisome that in 2022, we're still talking about this. So why is it that women are subjugated? Why is it that, you know, there is no intrinsic value placed on women? Why is it that, you know, the value of a woman is still
Has
in
to be
their
based on
sexuality and all that.
criteria.
Yes, it is just so sad. And this is one of those many things. Like, let's even come to Nigeria and then you see for yourself. In fact, I heard that one time there was a particular university that made it a criterion that you must be a virgin for you to gain admission into the school. I mean, how do we say that that is an institution of learning? And in this age,
is in focus.
That is still a thing.
So how do they test for the men?
So there is virginity testing now. They check whether, there is a way they check whether the person is a virgin. And I think that in itself is traumatic.
Wrong. Yeah. It is. Let me come to you, Nima.
Okay.
How do we celebrate?
I was just, you know, this morning thinking of the plethora issues that women have to deal with that are just hormonal. And, you know, it's science, in fact, it is I don't know how to put it, for men to understand that women have to go in phases through life. Our hormones control a larger part of our being, our lives.
Back to back.
And it's all, and in all shades of everywhere. It's you're lucky if you have your hormones working perfectly for you. So for some women, it aids menstruation. For some, it impedes menstruation. For some, it affects fertility. All through life, even productivity in workplaces, it affects a lot of things for women. And so for you who just have to enjoy your life, just exist,
just wake up
and be a guy.
Be a guy.
It will be tough for you to understand. Imagine I remember being a young girl and I used to have terrible hormonal issues. All of my sisters, I had abnormal ones. And even my mother could not understand why I would be sleeping in the morning. Why do you want to sleep in the morning? Why will you? Because I would be up at night like a bat, my eyes wide open. I had to just structure life to say, at night I read, so nobody ever saw me reading. And then in the morning, I am sleeping. And unfortunately for me, I have an early riser as a mother, and 7 a.m., God help you, I've not woken up. You know, all sorts of methods I used to wake you up that you cannot imagine. And so it was a lot of things scattered for years till I had freedom to control it. And some people will just come into your space, if they sleep in the morning, you should say you will be a good wife, so that kind of thing. It's tough here. You know, you're not allowed, you know, if it is not exactly you being lazy, if somebody can express how they feel, you know, if a young girl can express how she feels at that time, you can help her through it and, you know, help her pass through it. And, you know, I wanted to, when you raised this issue, the thought of the genetic GMC, that's the cut. Genital mutilations that have to happen. It's also on the girl child.
Of course.
Trying to curb sexual excesses that have not even come. You know, and they will say to the girl, if you don't do this for your girl child, as a young child, she will be wayward. And she has not even reached to know whether she will be wayward
or not.
Or maybe one child was wayward. And then they group every child tradition. And the abuse has spanned years and still exists in some communities in the country where we live in.
That's right.
It's terrible here that, you know, as the awareness grows wider, the abuse continues wider, you know, in some states I don't want to mention here. And you have people who can change this because it's a traditional, it's now a cultural thing.
Exactly.
It exists in our cultures. You have the custodians of culture that you expect would compel the change and say in these communities, imagine if the traditional ruler of the Yoruba kingdom in Osun compelled that anybody found doing this, any head of family in charge of this be called, be punished. And anybody found openly or even secretly doing this will be banished, will be, you know, in prison, will be disgraced, anything that is traditional. And,
but they themselves need to understand that it's not something, because they believe that they've done it over the years. They believe that
against it.
So
they come up
you can speak publicly against something.
That's right.
No, hold on. No. You can speak publicly against something, but that's not what you believe. You just say it we just have to say it so that it seems like I'm now trendy, I'm now flowing. But in your heart, you're still very traditional.
I think there is something about us, Africans, Nigerians, to be precise. You know, we actually do not think that we should review some cultures. We think that because we just think that they should be cast in stone, like that is how they should be forever. And they should be reviewed because so many things happening. What do you even say to the woman that they said that the husband died and she was the one who killed the husband and that she should drink the water they used to wash the cups? And it still happens. It still happens because I still saw one in the news recently, and I'm like, oh, so people still do this? So many things are happening, and I think that we should continue to talk about these things.
If we must have our girls grow to be whole women, to be able to give love, to be able to be true nurturers that they were born to be able to nurture nations that they were born to be, we need to review in fact, we need to review a lot of things. Yeah. We need to start to have conversations the right way. We need to make it less harmful for the girl to express herself.
And to live, and to just survive.
And I think one thing people don't understand again is that girls and women represent half of the world's population. Therefore, it represents the potential, I mean, you know, the whole potential, the half of the potential of the whole world. And people don't get that. So, you know, when, in fact, when you're talking about gender equality, it is, you know, besides the fundamental human rights that it is, it's actually, you know, it is essential for peaceful societies and with full human potential, you know. And I would say again that with sustainable development. And again, they say that if you empower the girl child, it actually spurs productivity and also economic
empowering
growth.
The society.
And I think that people don't understand that yet. They don't know that it is for the benefit of everybody as a whole. And that is why they're still where they are.
But say it well. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you educate a girl child, you educate a nation. They don't give that credit. It's saying of the prophet.
And maybe she didn't
get it from my religion, the rights of the girl child. No, so that's why we are informing.
I've heard that, and I always use it, but I don't know.
Say it. They don't say the source of it.
Oh, and no. So my own is that I understand that, but because I'm not a Muslim, I did not get that.
No, I just wanted to use it to buttress that, you know, the rights of the girl child, long before it was Western, was established in Islam.
Are you serious?
But because a woman in Islam is encouraged to cover up, also as a protection from what society saw at the time, to cover her and cherish her, it was also pushed as an abuse of, you know, the girl. People think, you know, when you're covered, you're abused, you're not educated, and it was culture, not Islam. If you come down to the places where it's practiced the most, it is their culture to shush the girl. It is their culture to not allow her advance. Because if she's too educated, she might argue with her husband. Not be religion. No. In religion, you are a partner. You are allowed your opinion. You are allowed your source of income. You are allowed your own investment and your earnings. Your full chest, you go take one owner. So even the Islam did not legislate on the girl as part of an estate. She's a beneficiary of an estate from her father, a beneficiary of an estate from her husband, and her kids are beneficiaries as well as her husband.
She cannot be disinherited because she's married. Hey, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we take phone calls and messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still celebrating the International Day for the Girl Child, and you can join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. So I know that raising a girl, being a girl, first of all, and raising a girl is not easy. I remember the time, like she's mentioned, she's had some very hormonal issues. Mine was more of the menstruation, where I would be fainting every month. I'll be throwing up every month. My father will have to take me to the hospital to get me these injections.
I've had my fair share of it.
Yes, through the veins and all that before I calmed down. So that was the monthly routine, which started at the age of 14.
And a lot of people don't understand.
Yes, and even now that I've given birth to about 3 children, I still have very painful menstruation. I was having a conversation with my mom 2 weeks ago when she came to visit. And she was like, you're still in pain? You should have stopped. She didn't get it. She didn't understand it.
Maybe she never had it because
she never
my
had
mother never had it.
Yeah,
so
she never
she's
had
always
it.
looking at me like, oh,
you are strange. What's happening?
Yes, what is wrong?
So what I would like to see is an understanding of, you know, the periods of a woman. So you go to the workplace and you know you are not in your best. You are not, and everybody judges you like, now you first, they flow. Now you first, I better go and do your work.
Even women.
Even women who are supposed to understand, especially those ones who do not have any experience. If you come to me and you tell me you're feeling a certain type of way because you're in your period, I will totally understand. I'll give you attention because I know what I used to go through. So how do we start having the conversation where even women should understand that these things happen? These days, as I'm growing older, I'm realizing that when I'm menstruating, wahala. When I'm ovulating, wahala. Like, I'm in that space where I can't fight anybody. It comes with a lot of pain and anger, and I'm just beginning to realize that. Can we have these conversations where women can say, this is what I go through during this period. How best can you support me? In my workplace, wherever I find myself, can we begin to have that conversation? Another issue that bothers me is the child marriage.
Yeah.
Child marriage
is still on.
It's still on. It's still ongoing. I have a daughter who is 13, who, if you look at her, she is full. But I can't even imagine at that age where she's still beginning to even understand. She hasn't even understood herself. And, you know, allowing her to be married off. How do we start pushing these sort of conversations? Because we still have a lot of it happening, especially in our space.
That's right. That's right.
I think for the first point that you made about the woman in workplaces, the first thing is when you're not in your hormonal phase, can you give your best?
Yeah.
Can it not be an excuse every other
time.
day?
That's right.
So that women like you will not be forced to see her waiting
they happen. Now only you.
You know, women sometimes in their workplaces decide their kids as if other women don't make it work. Decide their period as if other women don't make it work. It is a true condition. I met 3 women over the weekend because I take my kids out to learn. And I met other mothers, and we shared an experience. And
Let me pause you because I don't want to lose what you're saying. Let's have Sunday from Kogi. Good morning, Sunday.
I like to start by saying that the devil gets involved in our life in different ways, and that we must take notice of how the devil gets involved in our life.
Let me give you an answer.
I wrote a book sometime ago, titled The Last Piece of the Earth. And I did state in the book that this word key we call our children is extremely wrong. The word key is meant for baby good, not for human child. Now we are raising a generation of good by calling our children key. When the devil gets involved in our dictionary, it becomes part of our culture and our belief. I'll give you a second example. Before now, we used to say, oh my God, in trying to exclaim our frustration or whatever. But today what we say, oh my God, with the intent that probably come from our memory.
It's muffled.
Now,
that's right.
Before now, it is an inbuilt culture to kill a woman that gives birth to you.
Oh, wow. That was not really clear. Yes.
So, Enima, you were saying.
So I was saying, you know, give your best in your most strong, healthy period. Myself and those women were talking, and one just said to me that, I know, my child did something, and I said, please, help me, 6 months work. Let it not go to waste, 6 months bed rest. And she said, did you do bed rest? I also was on bed rest. I was just grateful to the boss that I had at the time. I did not get pregnant again, because the new boss I have might never understand. You know, I just might lose my livelihood, and I'm like, these are serious, honest issues women deal with. So for some women to just, lazy person, just say, I'm pregnant. No, today is my period, to just continue to use this as excuses. Make it soft for those people who sincerely have those situations. What I have learned through life, because I remember not being able to sit through exams.
Yeah, me too.
Every exam on the first or second day of my period, I will do my worst. I can't do my best. I can't concentrate. The pain takes from my spine to my brain. I'm just struggling to sit up, talk less of to remember an old pain.
What to write?
So when I get that and I get a B, I'm always celebrating that B that, at least
you even get a B, I don't even sit.
The kind of books you have to read as a law student. So when I struggle through and God, today is God, because I know that it couldn't have been me. Those were the kind of exams I had to go through. So what I did was in my healthy stages, before I know,
You give your
unfortunately,
best.
my period was on irregular, and he will not tell me when it's coming. It could be 4 months apart, or it could be 6 months apart.
Oh, you had a
But
blood
when it
issue.
comes,
Yes.
I had serious.
So yes, you did.
When it comes to serious shedding of the uterus, no ovulation, bleeding. I could bleed out a clot as thick as this.
Oh, wow.
In one standing. So the best thing for me is to be in my house. I would sometimes just
down.
run hot water and just be there, bleeding and washing it off. So that kind of life. Imagine somebody now make a joke of it and come to work and say, how let me bleeding? And make light of it so that when I'm having that condition and I'm explaining to a boss, nobody will believe. They will think it's impossible.
I've actually...
Before I come to you, let's quickly
all right.
take Sadiq from Yobe. Good morning, Sadiq. Oh, we lost him. So sorry. Honeypot.
You know, I snapped at somebody before, and this person is my very close friend, and the person looked at me and said, I know what is wrong with you. I know. Anytime you're on your period, that is how you behave. You know what? If I take it up, it will be, I'll be embarrassing myself. It will be, so I'll pardon you because I just know that that is what is wrong with you. I think for such people, I mean, I appreciated her more.
Yes.
Because what? For you to understand that this is what
This
is
is
wrong
what I'm
with
going
me.
through right
there
now.
are a lot of issues, as you have said, 1,001 issues, because, you know, nearly 1 in 4 girls aged 15 to 19 globally are not in education, employment, training, compared to like 1, you know, in 10 boys. Imagine that, and that is global. So I don't know why in this age we're still way back. You know, and one thing again, when we talk about the workplace, we've been talking about the workplace, how people would understand that women are on their periods. And that's not the only thing. We're still talking about the take-home for women too, salaries. And it's a big issue, especially when you think, because I'd seen a post of Oprah Winfrey way back where she was, you know, talking, venting on how they were not going to increase her salary
She was paid
because
less
she was
than her
paid
male
less, and they
counterparts.
were doing the same thing. And then the response she got was that because you're a woman, and then you
Imagine.
just feel that a man has more responsibilities than
Really?
you know, a woman. I don't think that if we have come to work and we do the same thing, this is not even being in competition with a man. This is if we are offering the same thing, we're bringing the same thing to the table.
should
Why
be
would
paid
you
the same.
think that because I am a woman, you should pay me less?
Don't I even need more money than you?
Why would you?
I've been to work several times with my sick children.
Yeah.
If I had to take them to the hospital, skip work, it will affect my production. I will bring my productivity to 100%, still be a mother. And you know the way we just, you know, multitask.
That's right.
But my husband, he will go to work. Hey, babes,
And be
how
calling you
far?
on the phone. How is the boy now? The temperature don't go down?
So
Because
it's even
women can
much
manage
more.
things better.
When
Yeah.
you're a woman, you do much more. You know, you're battling that. Imagine, for those who don't, we are enjoying the benefit of spacing our kids. For women who don't space their kids, I always wonder how they manage. For women who think, no, it's okay, let me just rush out. It's tough.
I mean,
You're in between several phases. In pregnancy, you're almost all that up and down. You're not yourself. You're carrying a child who's probably teething, going through...
you know, it's
It's not easy.
and
Let me
then-
quickly
and
take
you're
this call.
walking.
Yeah.
Hey,
Let's take this call.
that's
Tony
something
from
we
the
do.
UK. Good morning, Tony.
Hello? Yeah.
Good morning.
Hello? Yeah, hello, morning. To start with, hello, before I say anything, hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, before I say anything, do you have the same contact with journalist Hangout?
Yes, it's the same number.
Do you have the same number with...
I think so.
You think so? Which number shall I use to contact them?
So this is your view you're talking to right now. And I can only answer for your view. Okay. All right.
Thank
so,
you.
let's take a short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation.